Hey folks, today we're going to be taking a minute to compare some EOTECH type optics. The very first one is going to be the real deal. This is a real steel EOTECH EXPS combined with a real steel EOTECH G33 magnifier. This one I carry as a duty weapon, and it's just a wonderful setup rifle. A lot of money put into this one. Very good gun, very good optic. We're going to look at it. Next thing we're going to look at is going to be the Holy Warrior version of the same basic stuff. I've got the Holy Warrior EXPS optic here, combined this time with the Holy Warrior G43 magnifier. Pretty cool looking on the outside. Let's see how they stack up. And finally, well, we're also going to take a minute to look at El Cheapo. $30. Yep, that's about what I paid for it. Got it used at a Airsoft shop, or Airsoft field, indoor field in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I got robbed. We'll talk about this one as well. So, where are we going to start at? Well, we're going to start by digging into the box. And when you go into the box, you're going to see that it comes with decals. The decals will allow you to dress up the Holy Warrior version to where it matches almost identical to the real steel. It's hard to tell the difference between the two of them. You also have the optic right here, and the optic very solid, very heavy built. Once again, feels like the real thing. And finally, the Holy Warrior comes with a plastic lens protector, and if you plan on using this for BB wars, you really want to use this lens protector, because sooner or later you're going to take a shot to your glass, and while the Holy Warrior is not as expensive as a real steel, it also isn't very cheap. So you want to protect that glass so that it lasts for a while. Appearance wise, these things are almost identical. The only difference I could really tell between them, besides of course the decals, is the color of the EOTECH markings. If you look closely at the real steel version, you're going to see that it's kind of a tan color. Meanwhile, on the Holy Warrior version, that's white. I don't know if that's the case in every one of these, but it's the case in the ones we got. Beyond that, appearance-wise, you're honestly not going to tell a difference looking at these two optics. They're identical to each other. When you get down to the reticle quality, very good reticle on both of them. Both are very sharp, but there is a difference. While I don't have an image of it here, the reticle on the the Holy Warrior is the old style EOTECH reticle, going back to the early days of the EOTECH. Meanwhile, the reticle that takes place on the real steel, that one of course is a modern version that has your 3 dots underneath that allows you to adjust for range. Of course, you're not going to be adjusting for range if you're using this for Airsoft, so it's not really a big deal in there. We also need to talk about parallax. If you don't know what parallax is, it is a tendency for your optic to either stay on target or shift from the target as you move your head from side to side, up and down. On the real EOTECH EXPS, parallax is not a problem. It does not matter what angle you're going to look through, you're going to be on target. Of course, you're going to pay for it, but you're going to be on target. It is solid. On the Holy Warrior, it's close. There's a little bit of parallax going on, enough parallax that I'd be really concerned about using it for a defense, on a truly defense weapon, where I'd be very concerned about hitting my target every time. But is it bad enough to knock out of the market for doing some plinking or for doing something on an Airsoft type gun? No, it's perfectly good for that. El Cheapo, the parallax was horrible. You moved your head a little bit and that optic went way over the reticle, went way off of the target that you were pointing at. There was a terrible parallax issue with El Cheapo. From here, we want to talk about the clarity of the glass. All three optics, believe it or not, have a tint in it. Even the real EOTECH EXPS had just a little bit of tint going in it. The difference, however, is how much tint there was. And the real steel one, it's not enough to really notice. In the Holy Warrior, you can see here, there's just a little bit more tint. It's just a little bit darker. And as long as you're shooting in a reasonably well-lit area, it's not going to be an issue. Place I can see it being an issue is, say you were shooting, you're in a bright lit position and your target is in the shade of some trees or something like that, then it might end up becoming an issue with you. But that's why I have that what do we call it, the G43 extender or magnifier on it to help me find folks in those dark spots. Now let's take a look at El Cheapo. Look how dark the tinting is on that glass. It's just horrible. I mean, it's really, really bad. Now let's talk about night vision. Believe it or not, the Holy Warrior EXPS has a real, honest-to-goodness working night vision. I would not have believed it. I've got the El Cheapo, it's got a night vision button on it, but all it really does is change you from a red reticle to a green reticle. The the Holy Warrior, when I pushed it, the reticle disappeared. So I really wondered if it had working night vision or not. And as you can see here, when my son showed up, we took out both the real steel EOTECH and the Holy Warrior version of the EOTECH, put them on night vision mode, and son of a gun, they both have real working night vision. But this is where the real steel really shines out. You can see on the real steel one on the left here, you've got a super sharp reticle, very good, very quality image. Meanwhile, on the Holy Warrior, you got a little ghost reticle there beside the real thing. And that's not just something we saw, that the camera saw, that's something we could see as well. So the night vision reticle on the Holy Warrior is not real steel quality by any stretch, but if you're using it for BB wars, there's no reason in the world not to use that one, because it'll do what you need to do without burning out your tubes and whatnot. From here, let's talk about the magnifier. The magnifier blew me away. I am an old lens snob when it comes to photography lenses. I will spend thousands of dollars to get a good quality lens for my photographic work. It will be super bright, super crisp. And I was thinking for $150, the G43 that came from Holy Warrior, I was expecting it to be absolute garbage. I was wrong. I mean, it has blown me away to the point that if I ever came that I need to buy another EOTECH set up for another real steel rifle, I will buy the Holy Warrior magnifier to go on it before I spend $600 to get the true EOTECH real steel magnifier on it. That's how good it was. Both of the real steel and the Holy Warrior has the adjustment knobs on it so that you can center the reticle where you need it to be in the center of the optic. Both of them have focus rings so you can make it sharp. Both of them are very bright and very clear. And of course, for real steel, you're using it to shoot at range. For Airsoft, you're using that magnifier to be able to search out in the shadows of trees and whatnot to try and find people hiding up in there. That's the reason you use a magnifier for an airsoft gun. For most purposes beyond that, unless you're running a sniper, there's no point in running a scope or magnifier on an airsoft rifle. So let's talk about money. This is a big difference. El Cheapo, like I said, I think I paid $30 used for it. Bought it at a indoor airsoft range in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I felt like I got robbed. I bought it used, but I still felt like I got robbed because it is a complete piece of junk. The parallax issues we talked about, the tinting issues, junk. Not worth having around. The real steel version of the EOTECH combined with the G33 magnifier, you can see right there, is $1,279 at Academy. That is a chunk of change, boys and girls. That is a lot of money to put out for glass. In fact, that money costs, or that optics I have on my real steel rifle, costs about as much as the rifle itself did when we built it piece by piece. So there's a lot of money tied up on that gun and glass. The Holy Warrior combination, though, you get both pieces from AliExpress for about $300. Now, it took a while to get there. I think they said it was going to take me 3 months, and it took longer than that because one of the pieces got lost in the mail. I finally emailed them and said, hey, what's up? You said it shipped. Where's it at? And they sent me a message back, oh, we're sorry. Here's a photo of your package we're sending to you now. And within a week, I had the replacement. So they can get it to you quicker. I was in no hurry to get it, and I didn't expect it was going to take months and months to get to me. But when I got it, overall, not bad. So here's my final thoughts. If you're buying this to go on a real steel rifle, buy the real steel EOTECH Optic. Don't risk your life on something that's going to have parallax issues and that you do not guarantee you've got great quality and durability in, unless you're just using it for plinking. If you're just using it for plinking and you want to spend 150 bucks on something to plink with versus $600 for the real steel version, go for it. And then when you get to where you can buy something better, then you have that option to upgrade. If you're just plinking with a little 22, like the little Smith & Wesson 22 ARs that they have out, great little guns. Put that Holy Warrior optic on top of it, plink all day long, just understanding that it's not going to be exactly dead on due to the slight parallax issue. However, if you're using this for something like Airsoft, then by all means, the Holy Warrior is the way to go. You're not putting the $600 optic on top of your gun. It's only about 150 bucks for that piece, and it's going to do everything you want it to do for Airsoft purposes, and it's going to do it very well. And if it does happen to get shot out, you're not out that much money, or you don't have to deal with trying to ship it off to get fixed like you would the real steel one. When it comes to the magnifiers, those, I mean, side by side, equal in my mind. So if it was me buying it, I don't care if I'm putting it on real steel or if I'm putting it on a BB gun, I'm going to buy that Holy Warrior magnifier because it's a whole lot cheaper and it does the same exact thing. Let me know your thoughts on this video. I'm curious to hear any feedback you have, and if you are familiar with other versions of the EOTECHs and what your thoughts are on them as well. Leave me a comment. Y'all have a good day.